Hi, it's Layla, and as promised, here is video on ribcage breathing. I have gotten a band out. It's one of those stretchy bands here. I chose this color because I thought it might show the contrast in my ribcage movement for you. You can use whatever you have, as long as it gives a little bit. You're going to use this for a little feedback. You don't have to have a band. You don't have to use the band. Most of you have a band, it seems like, so I'm giving you an option. Afterwards, I'll show you something you can do without a band. So inhale, and you want to breathe into the sides and back portion of the ribs. And exhale. Inhaling. And exhaling. So this is how the band would be useful for you. You take your band, put it around you. You want it to make contact with that kind of lower section of the ribs, and you want to feel it along your back and on the sides. You can also actually tie a little knot and leave it there if you want. And you want something to breathe into. That's how it's very useful for people. I suppose if you don't have a band, you could use like a small dish towel or, I don't know, a belt, something. Just something that gives you some feedback. Now we'll do this without the band. So you're still breathing into that same area. You're really trying to get to that side and back portion of the rib cage. I am going to move my arms out of the way so hopefully you can see my ribs move. You're going to inhale through your nose and the ribs will widen a bit here. And exhaling out of your mouth, the ribs are going to narrow. Good. So the rib cage on the inhale is going to move a little bit like a bellows. It's going to be a little bit wider at the bottom. That's useful for you. I'm trying to think if there's any other tip I want to give you. You can use your hands. You can put your hands like this, put your hands like this, put your hands like this, whatever's comfortable for you. You can look in a mirror. You just want to find some way of feeling that expansion and then narrowing. You can also notice, do you breathe more into one side? Like, do you breathe dramatically more into one side? For some of you, that's going to be really useful, so I will demonstrate. If I'm only breathing into this side, on the inhale, you could also do this as an exercise, I suppose, if you want. And then I switched. So for some of you, you may have a tendency to just breathe to inhale into one side of the ribcage and then potentially exhale into the other. It's an interesting pattern. And you'd want to try and balance it out. So you can bring your attention to one side, breathing, inhale, exhale, both sides, and just start to pay attention to what's useful for you. While I'm doing this, my belly's fairly comfortable. I'm not pulling my belly in while I'm doing it. I'm just letting it relax a little bit, but bringing my attention to the movement of the ribs. So this breath can be very useful while you're exercising. If you're doing anything where you have to maintain that abdominal support, then breathing into the sides and back portion of the ribs is particularly useful. Take care.